Today, we're going to learn how to use the paintbrush in Photoshop and apply this tool by painting a little bit of scenery, a house, a tree, some grass. So let's get started. The first thing that we're going to need to do is open up the canvas and select a color. So I'm going to go into our color picker and we're going to start with the sky in the background. So I like that color. Next, we're going to press B or click on the paintbrush tool. And if you right click, you're going to notice that because these are all context sensitive, there's different tools. We're going to use the brush today. And so if I right click, I know that we've got some options here. We can change the diameter on the top. And if I were going to try to paint the sky like this, it would take forever. That would be really inefficient. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to right click again and increase the diameter. Wow, actually I made it super big. Let's go like that. So at 167, we can do a little bit more quickly. At 394, this is done in just a GIF. If we were to right click again and change the hardness, that's going to give us a different look. So if I'm going to select another color, let's say I make the, if I select a somewhat darker blue, if the hardness is all the way up, let's say it's right here, we can see it looks like this. But if we reduce the hardness from 100 to 0%, it's significantly softer, obviously, and that creates a pretty cool effect. So I'm going to increase the diameter once again, and let's go like this. And I'm going to get a little bit darker blue. All right, so cool. So we've got 3 shades of blue going on. So what I'm going to do now is create a new layer. We've talked about layers in the past, and I'm gonna start working on our house. Let's pick a color, and this sort of burgundy color looks good. I'm gonna right click, increase the hardness. I'm going to reduce the diameter, and I'm just gonna do the outline of this house. Now, as we're creating this little painting today, it's really not that serious. You don't have to produce anything Van Gogh or Da Vinci quality type art. We're simply flexing our understanding of how these tools work. So if you want, you can add a little door. That looks cool. All right, bam. If you want to shift over your house, you can select the move tool by pressing V or clicking on the move tool key, and we can then shift it over. We can press Control T or Command T to increase or reduce the size of this house. So what I'm going to do now is add a little bit of grass. I'm going to go down a layer. I'm going to create a new layer. Let's get some green. All right, I'm going to get some light green. And I'm going to get some dark green. So I'm using both the foreground and the background color. I'm going to press B for brush, right click, and now what we're going to do is I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and I see we have some pretty cool brushes over here. I'm going to grab this one, and I like that. And all of a sudden, we've got some cool brushes right here. I'm going to simply go like that. I'm going to maybe make a new layer in front of that house and add some more grass right there. That looks pretty cool. Next, let's add our tree. So I'm gonna get a color looks like that. The tree's not gonna look amazing if that's like the bark, right? That would look weird. We need to obviously select a different brush. So I'm going to grab something that looks a little bit like this, increase the diameter. We've got our trunk, sort of our base. I'm going to reduce the size. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Mr. Droz, that looks weird. What's going on here? This is just the sort of background of the tree. Let's add some leaves to it. To do that, we're going to create a new layer. Let's add some nice reds and oranges. So I'm selecting both the foreground and the background color. I'm going to right click, and we've got a couple different leaves we can choose, and I'm going to increase the diameter. And that looks pretty cool. So this brush uses both the foreground and the background. If we wanted to start over, because this is its own layer, I can simply press delete or drag this to the garbage can, and we can create a new layer and start once more. I like that. We can Control T to change the size or Command T to change the size. If we wanted to add a little bit of smoke to this chimney, what we can do is, or let's draw a chimney actually. Change the brush. Bam, that looks great. Let's get a nice gray. I'm going to right click, reduce the hardness to 0, and all of a sudden we've got a little something like this. So you're gonna write your name and date on this. If you have any questions, please let me know. Send me your work as a JPEG and to our blog.